So everyone has their own life stories, right? Who they've loved, who they've lost, their friends, their family, their life experiences are all different. Mine in particular is a bit hard to follow. Even my friends who I've known for forever have a hard time following sometimes. So for those of you who don't know, I'll start at the beginning. So both my parents were born in the Philippines. My dad was the youngest of four siblings, and my mom was the second oldest of four siblings. My dad graduated with an electrical engineering degree, and my mom with a business management degree. They both decided that they were going to move to Abu Dhabi, United Arab Emirates, which is in the Middle East. They wanted to give their families back at home, a better life and to help them financially. What my parents didn't actually meet in the Philippines. They actually met in Abu Dhabi, and that happened on June 12th, 1987, at the Intercontinental Hotel. They were both there for Philippine Independence Day. My dad was a featured singer, and my mom was there celebrating with friends. My parents actually told my brother and I two different versions of the story. So my dad's version was that he was this big heartthrob and that every time he sang, women were all over him, and that when my mom saw him sing for the first time, she fell instantly in love with him. And my mom's version of the story, which my brother and I believe just a bit more, was that my dad was, one, he was full of it, two, he was very, very drunk, and three, even though she gave him her number, she also gave it with a fake name. But, of course, as all love stories go, they did fall in love and they got married, and that happened on June 10th, 1990. At the time, both of my parents were working in the aviation field, and they were often asked to go train overseas. So they were both asked to go train in Texas at the time, and my mom was actually pregnant with me. And she was so far along that she wasn't allowed to get back on the plane, and what ended up happening was that I was born an American citizen. So I was born November 22nd, 1993, in Killeen, Texas. After a few months, my parents actually got back on a plane, and we went back to Abu Dhabi. And then 6 years later, my brother was born on December 8th, 1999. My brother and I are kind of like night and day. My brother is a bit of the spending savvy, and I'm a bit more on the spending endlessly savvy. And my parents always like to remind me that I was expensive even before I came out of the womb, just because I was born in the US. But anyways, so we did live in Abu Dhabi until 2006. Now, it was in 2006 that my parents told me that we were moving to Canada. We had already moved around a lot in Abu Dhabi, and they actually pulled me out of school because it took a lot of preparation to actually get us over to Canada. And so bringing me to school was a bit difficult because at the time we were living pretty far. So I was homeschooled for a bit, and then in 2006, I think around springtime, my mom, my brother, and I moved to Canada without my dad. And we left without him because it was easier on us because he would be able to support us financially. But he followed a couple of years after. So we left without my dad, and we actually arrived in Canada on a Thursday. And it was a long weekend, and everyone in the 6th grade was going on a field trip, so that was difficult on me just because when Tuesday rolled around, everyone had already forgotten about me. It was also hard for me because all my friends that I left behind, it was hard to keep in touch with them. Facebook wasn't a thing, the weather was different, the culture was different. So between my brother and I think I had the most difficult time adjusting. But, as life goes on, we moved again. We moved from North York to Mississauga after grade 6, and I was finally able to set my feet in the ground because we stayed in Mississauga, and we still live in Mississauga right now. So at the time when we were in Mississauga, I think there was a good 12 of us living under one roof, my mom and her sisters. It was a bit difficult sometimes, but they helped me a lot. I was very behind education-wise because I fell behind with homeschooling and moving around, and because my parents were in the aviation field, we did travel a lot. Like, I got to go to a lot of countries, but I had to be pulled out of school for a while to go to those countries. So by the time I was in Canada, I didn't really understand anything. And there was a time, I think, that I didn't think I was smart enough or that I was going to be able to graduate or I was going to be able to get into university or college. But because of how tight my family was, how, you know, how supportive we were of each other, I think that helped me a lot. And when I got into my grade 7, 8 year, I met some great people who were there for me and are still there for me. And I met some people in high school who are still there for me to this day. And they really were great influences on me, and they really pushed me to be who I am today. You know, I went from not thinking that I was going to graduate or get into university to graduating grade 12 on the honor roll for the first time, and I graduated with a couple of awards for participation and for, you know, just overall being involved in the school. And now I'm about to graduate from Lakehead as a teacher candidate, and I was on the dean's list all 4 years of my undergrad, and I'm about to go to China for a placement, and I was accepted into the master's program fully funded, and I'm about to start in January again. And I don't think I could have done that without the people who were there for me. And people ask me if I hated my parents or if I regretted anything. And I honestly don't think I regret anything. And my parents were always there for me, and everything turned out great, even though I might have hated the move. I don't think I would have had my parents do it any other way. And I'm happy that they did it because they were brave enough to move from the Philippines to the Middle East and the Middle East to Canada, not knowing how everything was going to turn out, and they did it. So I thank them for that. I really do. I don't think my brother and I would have such a great life without them. And I don't think I would have been able to meet the people I met. I'm just overall very thankful for all the people in my life and everything that I'm experiencing. And I'm excited to see what happens next and where my story goes. So that's my story. I hope all of you guys enjoyed it, and, you know, continue writing your own stories. Thanks.